come to give Yah the glory and learn of His ways and His word, His dabarim. Um, you know, we're gonna do a Bible study over the book of Zechariah. I pray the lesson go out in truth and sincerity as we take this time out to go in details and learn of the word of Yah from the prophet Zechariah. This is the main book we're really just going to go over from chapter 1 to chapter 14. All right, do quite a bit of reading. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yah unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, Yah hath been sore displeased with your fathers. Therefore say thou unto them, Thus said Yah of hosts, Turn ye unto me, said Yah of hosts, and I will turn unto you, said Yah of hosts. Be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, Thus said Yah of hosts, Turn ye now from your evil ways, and from your evil doings. But they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, said Yah. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my word and my statutes, which I command my servants, the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers? And they returned and said, like as El of hosts thought to do unto us according to our ways and according to our doings, so hath he dealt with us. Upon the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month of Shebat, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yah unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behold, him were there red horses speckled with white. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked to me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom Yah hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth. And they answered the angel of El that stood among the myrtle trees, and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still, and is at rest. Then the angel of El answered and said, O El of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou had had indignation these 60 years? And El answered the angel that talked with me with good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus said Yah of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. Now this also, you can see it's always about Yah being jealous over Zion. Just like we was talking about last week about the Gentiles and Hebrew Israelites in the millennial reign. It's that jealousy that many of us should have recalled of why Yah is going to do the things he's going to do is and mainly because of his love for Zion, his chosen people. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. And this is when I was talking about this also last week about the Gentiles, the two Gentiles in Zechariah chapter 14, the one set of Gentiles that seek Yah and they're going to be dealt with a certain way, and then the Gentiles who did much evil while Zion was in captivity. Right here, and it's also in Psalms chapter 83, and mainly as a right to the point scripture about that matter. But all throughout the Bible you see that. But Yah is telling letting it be known that he was a little displeased with the manners of the other nations and how they were conducting themselves. But now he's very upset at those nations for what they have done, because they forward the affliction, like I was saying last week. It was the Gentiles did not sin by putting Zion into captivity the many times that they went into captivity. That was not the sin. The sin was the forwarding of the affliction, what Yah didn't tell them to do. Therefore, thus saith Yah, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, said Yah of hosts. And we read about that last week with New Jerusalem coming down, the rivers going through it. That's going to be Yah's, through Yahushua HaMashiach's dwelling place in the millennial reign. My house shall be built in it, said Yah of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry yet, saying, Thus said Yah of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and El shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. So one thing you should be able to notice here that Zechariah went right to end time prophecy, because what I just read, mainly from 16 to 17, that was end time prophecy about New Jerusalem coming. So this was way before Zechariah's time. I mean, way after. It's going to happen way after Zechariah's time. And some books build up to it, just like Zechariah, it builds up to it, but Zechariah gets right to the point of the prophecy that is supposed to be in the millennial reign. Verse 18, Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. And the horns are kingdoms, just like we was talking about the Roman Empire, just like in the book of Daniel, the kingdoms and stuff like that. And El showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, What come these to do? And he spake, saying, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head, but those are come to fry them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horns over the land of Judah, to scatter them. And a lot of these particular Gentiles that did this, that again, that is in Psalms chapter 83. It was several Gentile nations that said that they would make a confederate against Zion. And I might read a little bit of the people, and just for clarification, I'll go to it. For Psalms chapter 83, I'll read some of the nations that poured the affliction on Zion, because it was not all of the Gentiles, but it was specific Gentiles and even Hebrew Israelites' brother, Edom, the descendants, which are Esau, the descendants of Esau, the Edomites. 83, Psalms 83, verse 1 on down. Keep not thou silence, O Yah. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yah. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and a tumult is a uproar. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head, which the head is Zion. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, the Hebrew Israelites, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, when Zion went into captivity, these particular nations said, we want to forward the affliction because we don't want Zion to rule over us any longer. Because you have to remember, when Zion is not being punished by the Most High, and when they are in His favor, in His good grace, they are ruling, just like King David, just like Saul, etc., etc. But when they sin, they go into captivity and punishment. And at this particular time, when they did go into captivity and punishment, these particular nations said, let's make sure they stay in captivity. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And this is because when Zion is not in punishment, they are back on their rightful status of being the judges of the planet Earth under Yah. For they have consulted together with one consent, these nations, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Eden, the Hebrew Israelites' brother, and the Ishmaelites, this is also a son of Abraham, of Moab, and the Hagarians, Gibel and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, and Tyre is a Hamitic nation. Ashur also is joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot. So I was just reading that to put this in perspective of Zechariah chapter 1, especially chapter 21, speaking of the horns that are doing and afflicting Zion in these matters. Chapter 2 of Zechariah. I lifted up mine eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I said, Yah will be unto her a wall of fire around about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. See, Zechariah is going into complete end-time prophecy. This is taking place around 500 BC. So Zechariah is prophesying something that's going to take place like 2,000 years later. Verse 6, ho, ho, means up, up. Up, up, come forth, and flee from the land of the north, said Yah. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith Yah. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughters of Babylon. And right now, what is the big thing of Babylon? We're not in the necessarily the Babylonian Empire, but we're in the daughter of Babylon's empire. For thus said Yah of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. And again, talking about those four horns and talking about the nations of Psalms chapter 83, those nations that afford the affliction on Zion. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. And again, it's not saying that the nation sinned with the punishment that the Most High issued upon Zion. That's not the issue of them going into captivity. It's all about forwarding the affliction, going overboard. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that Yah of hosts hath sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. For, lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, said Yah. And again, that's that end time prophecy when Yah shall dwell in the midst of Zion in the millennial reign. And many nations shall be joined to Yah in that day, and shall be my people. See right here, and that goes back to, again, we was reading in one was in Zechariah when Yah says, my house shall be called a house of all people. I will accept the Hebrew Israelites sacrifice, and I'm going to accept those Gentiles that seek me sacrifice. So it's all about, the Most High having dominionship in everybody in the whole world. It's just not about, one group serving the Most High. He wants all to serve him. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yah of hosts hath sent me unto thee. And Yah shall inherit Judah, his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem. Be silent, O all flesh, before Yah, for he reigns up out of his holy habitation. Chapter 3, verse 1. And he showed me Joshua, the high priest. And I believe I spoke to this about y'all to y'all before. This was the prophecy of Yahushua HaMashiach putting on the human flesh, that Satan didn't want Yahushua HaMashiach to put on the human flesh to be the Savior, to be able to come in the flesh and be the sacrifice that was necessary to open up the doors for redemption. And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of El, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. Again, this is a prophecy of Yahushua HaMashiach, not necessarily Joshua of the book of the Old Testament. And El said unto Satan, and the Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuke thee, O Satan, even El that hath chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire? Now Yahushua was clothed with filthy garments, and the filthy garments are the flesh, and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, Take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with change of remnant. And we understand that is talking about when Yahushua HaMashiach went to the Feast of Pentecost, the first fruits. When he was accepted and when he rose again, he was accepted as an honorable sacrifice, and he came back down with his glorified body. And I said, Let them set a fair mitre upon his head. And a mitri is a garment. It's like it's a head covering with a space in the middle. So it's you can see the crown of your head, but the rest of your forehead and the sides of your head are covered all around about, but the top of your head is uncovered. And I said, let him set a fair meat tree upon his head. So they set a fair meat tree upon his head, and clothed him with garments. And the angel of El stood by. And the angel of El protested unto Yahusha, saying, Thus said Yah of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and shalt also keep my courts, and I will give thee place to walk among these that stand by thee. So this is El talking to Yahushua HaMashiach saying, hey, if you come down here and you keep my law, statutes, and commandments and do the things that are favorable and pleasing to me, I will give you a blessing. Because you got to recognize that a lot of the angels, when they were given charge and duties, they were corrupted and enticed, just like going into the women of man, of Adam, creating offspring, gene manipulation, making themselves gods, making themselves appear to be some type of thing that is above their standing. But Yah is telling Yahusha right here that, hey, if you come down here and you do these things, I will give you all of these things and more. And that's why Yahushua HaMashiach says in the New Testament, he that does not bear his cross is not worthy of me. Just like Yah is telling Yahushua HaMashiach right here, he's saying, if you bear this suffering and this pain, I'll have a great reward for you. 8. Hear now, O Yahusha, the high priest, and we understand who the high priest is. You can go to Hebrews, that explains it even in further details. He is the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. He is the intercessor. He is the high priest, the highest of the priests. Hear now, O Yahusha, the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant the branch. For behold, the stone that I have laid before Yahusha, upon one stone shall be 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof, saith Yah of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day. In that day, saith Yah of hosts, shall ye call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree. And this is another type of prophecy. You can go to, I believe it's Romans, is talking about the grafting in of the Gentiles, the unnatural branches, and the adopting Zion back in as the natural branches, because it's all about being one tree in Yah, and it clearly shows that in Zechariah chapter 2 verse 11, and many nations shall be joined to El in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yah of hosts have sent me unto thee. Again, you don't lose your nationality by being grafted in, you're just grafted in. But I went there to show that about the tree. Everybody is going to be one tree bearing one type of fruit, and that is the fruit and the righteousness of Yah. Chapter 4. And the angel and I talked with, and the angel that talked with me came again, and I waked me, and as a man that is wakened out of his sleep. And so Zechariah, he's groggy right here. He's just being woken up. So he's a little half asleep, half awoke. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, and you see right here, because I did that lesson on the importance of writing down your dreams. And you see what the angel is telling him right here. He's saying, when you were sleeping and I just woke you up, what did you see? You know, that's why it's important to write down your dreams, because there are important matters of how the Most High is dealing with you, and there are important matters to see where you are standing. Because if you're always having nightmares and terrible dreams, that means you're having problems. If Satan's always doing things and getting you to lust in your dream, getting you to do sinful things, that means something going on with your life when you're awoken. That's why when you're awoken, you have to make sure you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And when you're sleeping, you have to note these things to see how you are displaying this in your dreams. Are you able to call out Yah in your dreams? Are you able to fight off wickedness in your dreams? Are you able to turn away from wickedness in your dreams? That's why it's very important. Dreams are very important. Verse 2, And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick, all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof. That's the menorah. You know, you ever seen a menorah? You got the candlesticks with the bowl and all that. And 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my master? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my master. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of Yah unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by night, nor by power, but by my spirit, said Yah of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou bringest forth the headstone thereof with shouting, crying, Grace, grace unto it. Moreover, the word of El came unto me, saying, The heads of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this. His hands shall also finish it. And thou shalt know that El of hosts hath sent me unto you. For you have despised the day of small things. For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummets in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of Yah, which run to and fro through the whole earth. Then answered I and said unto him, What are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick, and upon the left side? And I answered again and said unto him, What be these 2 olive branches, which through the 2 candlesticks golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not that these be? And I said, No, my master. Then said he, These are 2 anointed ones that stand by El of the whole earth. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off as one that's on this side according to it. And every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And the sweareth is talking about sweareth falsely, because a lot of people, they always making vows and saying that they're going to do this. It's talking about making false vows and false promises and stuff like that. Verse 4, I will bring it forth, said Yah. So Yah is going to bring a curse in the last days, and it's going to go into more details of what that curse is. I will bring it forth, said Yah of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes, and see what is this that goeth forth. So you're about to see what is the curse. What is this thing what is this, what some would call evil, this evil that Yah are going to put on the thieves and the people who have false oaths and all this stuff, not oaths, vows. And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephah that goeth forth. He said, Moreover, this is their resemblance through all the earth. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. So an ephah, a woman is sitting in it. It's like a basket, sort of like a woven basket, and a woman is sitting in the middle of it. Now remember, he just says this. I'm going to tell you what the curse is. This is the curse. And he said, This is wickedness. So that woman is in the manifestation of wickedness. And he cast it into the midst of the ephah. And he cast the weight of the lead upon the mouth thereof. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women. Now, a lot of people run with this thing, that they're female angels. They are not female angels. There's no such thing as a female angel. All of Yah's angels up in heaven, they're all male. They're his princes. He has princes. He has sons. The reason why the angels disobeyed Yah, one of the reasons is because they saw women. If they had women in heaven, they wouldn't have sought women. So when these people put these female angels, they're not invoking anything that is in heaven, because there are no female angels. But there is something else, like a succubus. Succubus also have wings. Succubus also have crowns. You do your research on that, you might find out that these 2 women right here aren't any type of angels or anything else of heaven, anything of that nature. There are 2 demonic females with wings, that are holding wickedness that is in the basket. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, which are most likely 2 succubus women, and the wind was in their wings. So they have wings. For they had wings like the wings of a stork. You see these specific key points here. if you look up a stork wings and you go look up the common wings of an angel that is in the scriptures, remember the angels have wings like eagles. So if angels have wings like eagles, that's why the scriptures say, I'll put you on eagle wings. And these two women have stork-like wings. That means there are two different type of beings here, because all the angels have the same thing. And just like a cherub, they just have multiple of the same type of eagle wings. It's not that the wings are different, they just have more of them. They have 6 of them. And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and heaven. So they are above the planet earth. They have wickedness in the basket that they lifted up with the lead. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, and recognize what Zechariah is doing here. He's talking to an angel. He understands how an angel looks. He's never calling these two women in Zechariah angels, because there's a clear differentiation with what's going on in here. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, whether do these bear the ephah? And he said unto me, to build it a house in the land of Shinar, Babylon. Shinar means Babylon. And it shall be established and set there up here her own base. So, just like anything, nurturing is needed. So they're going to take wickedness, go keep it safe, and nurture it so it can come to be, so it can manifest what it was meant to do. Chapter 6, verse 1. And we should see by looking around, especially in the daughter of Babylon, that wickedness has taken root and the curse has gone forth. It's getting to the end times where the curse will be fulfilled in all of its necessities. Chapter 6, verse 1. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains. And the mountains were the mountains of brass. In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot black horses, and in the third chariot white horses, and in the fourth chariot grizzled and bay horses. And most likely these are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, just like the the 4 horsemen in Revelations. Again, the Most High is always using things from the past to the present. It's the same arsenal of terrors. And in the verse 4, then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my master? And the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of heaven, of the heavens, which go forth from standing before El of all the earth. The black horse which are therein go forth into the north country, and the white go forth after them, and the grizzly go forth towards the south, and the bay went forth and sought to go, that they might walk to and fro through the earth. And he said, get you hence, walk to and fro through the earth. So they walked to and fro through the earth. Then cried he upon me, and spake unto me, saying, behold, these that go towards the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, take of thee of the captivity even of Hildi of Tobiah, and of Judea, which are come from Babylon. And come thou the same day, and go into the house of Josiah, the son of Zephaniah. Then take silver and gold, and make crowns, and set them upon the head of Yahusha, the son of Josadak, the high priest. And speak unto him, saying, Thus speaketh El of hosts, saying, Behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of El. Even he shall build the temple of El, and he shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule upon the throne. Now, anybody who has a decent amount of study should know this is talking about Yahushua HaMashiach. He's the branch, he's the mediator, he's the one who's going to sit on the throne. So for anybody, because there's some people who don't believe in the New Testament, Yahushua HaMashiach is all throughout the Old Testament. And he shall be a priest upon his throne, and the counsel of peace shall be between them both. And the crowns shall be to Helam, and the Tobijah, and Jebiah, Jedediah, and to Hin, the son of Zephaniah, for a memorial in the temple of El. And they that are far off shall come and build in the temple of El, and ye shall know that El of hosts hath sent me unto you. And this shall come to pass, if ye will delightfully obey the voice of El, your Abba. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Darius, that the word of El came unto Zechariah in the 4th day of the 9th month, even in Chalish, and that translates to Chislab. I don't know what that means. I looked that up. Verse 2: When they had sent unto the house of El Sharezer the Regimmelech and their man to pray before El, and to speak unto the priests which were in the house of El. And the prophet saying, Should I weep in the 5th month, separating myself as I have done these so many years? Then came the word of El of hosts unto me, saying, Speak unto all the people of the land, and to the priests, saying, When ye fasted and mourned in the 5th month and 7th month, even those 70 years, did ye at all fast unto me, even to me? And when ye did eat, and when ye did drink, did not ye eat for yourselves and drink for yourselves? Meaning they had no purity in the feast days. They had no purity in the sacrifices. They had no purity in the feast days. They were just doing it just to do it, just to feed their belly. They were not understanding the main point of it. It was hollow. Should ye not hear the words which El hath cried by the former prophets, when Jerusalem was inhabited and in prosperity, and the cities thereof round about her, when man inhabited the south and the plain? And the word of Yah came unto Zechariah, saying, Thus spaketh El of hosts, saying, Execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother, and oppress not the widow. And in Torah study the other day, we was talking about the widow and the childless child, and how when they did cry out to Yah, he even warned everyone that if the widow or the fatherless cry out to me, I will kill you. So these are important people to Yah. They're not just words in here and just to take up space. Widows, fatherless, they're very important to Yah. Nor the fatherless, right there, the stranger, the Gentiles, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. So they used their free will, just like the angels did, to say, Yah, I'm thankful for everything. I'm happy for everything that you gave me, but I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do what I want to go do, and right now I just want to do wickedness. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law. So they became very hardened to the voice of Yah, that they didn't want to hear his voice. They didn't care about his ways, his laws, statutes, and commandments. Lest they should hear the law and the words which Yah of hosts had sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from Yah of hosts. And this goes back to, in the New Testament, it says, they have seared their conscience with a hot iron, meaning they have cut off the voice of Yah from them. They don't want to hear the voice of Yah. They don't care to do his ways, laws, statutes, and commandments. They have fallen in love with death, with wickedness. And that brings the wrath of Yah upon anyone who does that. Therefore it is come to pass that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, said Yah of hosts. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all nations. And this is the aspect of when the Most High put Zion in captivity via the nations. He didn't literally put a tornado in the midst of Zion and put them in captivities. He allowed and moved the other nations, the Gentile nations, to take his people and put them in timeout, in a punishment, with rules. It wasn't lawless. He had rules for the punishment. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. Thus Yah was desolate after them, that was no man passed through nor returned, for that thy land, the pleasant land, desolate. Chapter 8. Again the word of Yah came to me, saying, Thus said Yah of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with a great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus said Yah, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. We did touch on this last week, a part of the Hebrew Israelites' millennial reign. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of El of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus said Yah of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus said Yah of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of the Hebrew Israelites, of this people in those days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, said Yah of hosts. You see, the book of Zechariah is just basically just a prophecy about the millennial reign. From chapter 1 on down, it's continuously talking about future prophecies. Thus said Yah of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Yah in truth and righteousness. Thus said Yah of hosts, let your hands be strong, yea, that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets. And that's why Yahushua HaMashiach gave the parable when he was dealing with Lazarus and the rich man who died and he went to hell and he asked to come back up. And Abraham told him, if they hear not the prophets and Moses, they will not hear you. And this is what Yah is telling us right now. Listen to the words of the prophets. Because why? The prophets' words are his words. And they're here right now for you. You don't have to ponder on it and think about something because they're right here. And this is why the Most High has multiplied the publishings of the Bibles all throughout the planet Earth. It's online, in your phone, it's on apps, it's on paper, it's on audio cassette, it's digital, it's everywhere because it's for us to understand what's going on. And I will be their Yah in righteousness. Thus said Yah of hosts, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of El of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. For before those days there was no hire for man. And we understand the building of the temple, that's a matter for Yahushua HaMashiach in chapter 6, around verse 13. For before these days there were no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set all men, every one against his neighbor. So there was a curse that went out, just like the curse in Zechariah chapter 5. Is that bitterness, is that wickedness, is that hatred, that envy of your brother, that disdainment for your brothers and your sisters, etc., etc. It's a curse. But now I will not be unto the residue of this people as in the former days. And we should understand that the residue is going to be the 1/3, because 2/3 of Zion he's going to destroy. Said Yah of hosts, for the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their due. And I will cause the remnant of the people to possess all these things, the Hebrew Israelites that are of the 1/3. And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. And we read this last week also, how the Hebrew Israelites are going to be a blessing, because the Most High is going to put His light in them even more on a real divine level, and they're going to go forth throughout the planet Earth to be a light unto the Gentiles, to bring them to Yah. Verse 14, for thus said, and again this is millennial reign type of stuff right here. For thus said Yah of hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, said Yah of hosts, and I repented not. 14:2. So again have I thought in those days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear not. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute judgment of truth and peace in your gates. and let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. You remember how it started off, because it was everybody, the curse is coming for them that swear falsely. They don't have a true vow. And you make a vow with somebody, they don't keep it. You make a promise to them, they don't keep it. It's just lying and deceit in their mouth. For all these are things that I hate, said Yah. And the reason why he sent the curse. The curse is already here right now, being nurtured and developed even more, is the wickedness, the wicked woman and the ephah with the two demon type of women with stork wings, who placed the wickedness in Babylon. And the word of Yah of hosts came unto me, saying, Thus said Yah of hosts, the fast of the 4th month, and the fast of the 5th month, and the fast of the 7th month, and the fast of the 10th month shall be to the house of Judah joy and gladness, because it's like we was reading this a few minutes ago, that they did not have pureness in his feast days, in his fast days. But now, because it's going to be a remnant here, they're going to be of a more upright heart. They're not going to be a heart of stone. They're going to be a heart of flesh. And they're going to take joy in the principal things of the Most High, his feast days, his ways. Thus said Yah of hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, Let us go speedily to pray before Yah, and to seek El of hosts. I will go also. Now these particular people are the Gentiles again. I believe we did touch on this last week. Yea, many people and strong nations, Gentile nations, shall come to seek El of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before El. Thus said Yah of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, a Hebrew Israelite, saying, We will go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with thee. Because Yah put the light in the Hebrew Israelites more abundantly at this particular time in the millennial reign. Chapter 9. The burden of the word